So hello and welcome to the video. A little different today because I've been joined by two of my patrons who have both just returned from their first ever cruise. Now I think them having watched my videos had something to do with their decision to go on that type of holiday. So in this video we'll learn whether I have helped them uncover a new and exciting holiday option for them, or whether they absolutely hated it and they blame me for wasting their money. So no jeopardy to this video at all. But before we get into the video, a few words about where we are today. This is the beautiful Yatra restaurant in the old Westminster fire station in central London. In a past life I used to work with restaurants and I actually visited this site when it was still a shell, so it's really exciting to be back some years later to see what they've done to the place. My good friend and owner Tina and chef Armeet have invited me along today to host the filming. So if you come to Yatra and mention that you saw it in one of my videos, they'll give you a glass of fizz as a welcome. So let me introduce you to my two guests today, Linny and Shane. Well, actually, why don't they introduce themselves?
I'm Linny. By day I'm a marketer, and at the weekends and in my time off I'm what I would call an independent traveller.
And I'm Shane. I've been living in the UK since 2010 and I am a legal manager for the civil service.
So if you'd like to hear why Linny and Shane chose to go on a cruise and you'd like to hear what they thought of it, then, well, 1, 2, 3.
Stick around.
Hi, I'm Matt and I love cruising. I love the ships, the places you visit, the entertainment, and every now and again I'll also enjoy a drink. So subscribe to see where I go next and perhaps get some inspiration for your next cruise. So the first question is, what made you choose to go on a cruise holiday?
Well, we of course saw your video, my wife and I, and we wanted something enjoyable, entertaining, and to be able to see some new places that we haven't seen and have some fun along the way.
That works with a cruise?
I chose a cruise again, having watched Matt's Oceans, and also I've set myself a challenge of visiting 10 new countries this year, and the itinerary that I picked was going to tick off 2 new countries.
Which were?
Turkey and Croatia.
So which cruise lines did you pick and what sort of itinerary did you pick?
So we picked Celebrity. We wanted something a little bit nicer, and we liked the review that you did on the Solstice. And we went to Spain, 2 ports in Spain and 2 ports in Portugal.
And I chose Norwegian on the Norwegian Getaway, and starting in Italy, Trieste, down through Croatia, Eastern Med, Turkey, and many Greek islands.
And the Getaway is one of the new bigger ships as well, isn't it?
If you look at Wikipedia, it says that it holds 3,600, but actually on the ship, the sailing that I was on, there were 4,800.
Wow, lots of kids?
Lots of kids.
So what surprised you most about the experience?
I think the biggest thing for me was the size of the ship. I know it's not their biggest, but when we got to the cruise port, the ship was huge. The number of places you can get food, the number of things to do, the number of shops, and although I knew it because you said it, the number of bars that were on the port. But it was actually quite beautiful. It was really, kind of had a resort feel to it. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. And I know it's not one of their newest ships, but it was really, really good for it.
And Linny?
For me, I think the most surprising thing was everything was of high quality. Even in the best hotels in the world, and I've been to all-inclusive 5-star resorts. There's always something that's maybe just not quite right, a little bit shabby, but everything on that ship was perfect.
Wow, which makes my next question a bit redundant, but what was the most disappointing part of it?
The word disappointing part. The tendering process, which I believe is a little bit of an MCL hangover, but then generally not that great at it. For example, Mykonos, they were still calling tender boats at 4:30 p.m. and I'd be thinking, if that was me, why even bother going ashore?
I think for us, the Wi-Fi, we got the all-included with Celebrity, and we just did not have any idea just how awful the Wi-Fi would be. I mean, we got on board and it said Starlink, so we were expecting, something fast. I mean, I could barely even send a WhatsApp message. In fact, I don't think I actually did.
But the most important question is, did you have a good time?
Oh, we had an absolutely amazing time. The ports that we visited were small part. I mean, the thing that we liked most about it is we visited places that were small enough that you can kind of see most of the city for a day. Lisbon was the biggest city that we went to, and we docked pretty much right in the city center with all the ports except one, which we didn't even get off the ship that day. I think it's a really, really good way to see cities that you wouldn't otherwise go to. I wouldn't want to go to like Venice because you can't see Venice in 6 hours. So it was really good for that.
And you sailed out of Southampton, which does limit how far you can get inside of a week. Was that a deliberate choice, or was it just that was the itinerary that appealed?
Yeah, well, my wife doesn't like to fly, so that was one of the factors. But yeah, I mean, just convenience. It's easy to get to Southampton by rail.
I did have a fabulous time, although if you had asked me 3-4 days into the cruise,
Yes.
I wouldn't have, I had to find my sea legs.
Right.
But by the end of it, and I might be giving the game away, I am a convert.
Right, that's good. And you enjoyed your ports as well? It's an interesting itinerary through the Greek islands. There's some big name places you go to.
Oh, interesting. I did enjoy the ports. I fell in love with Corfu, and I definitely want to go back there. Actually spend a bit more time than the 8 hours that we were there, give or take. Istanbul, amazing, but it absolutely wore me out.
Right.
Again, trying to rush to see a big city, and as a result of Istanbul in particular, I didn't do the excursion that I booked the next day because I just needed a day to recover.
Right.
I had a port every day on my itinerary, bar one, but that was a late minute change.
Right.
They pulled Kusadasi off the list, and that was really heavy going in the end.
Right. And you chose a port a day for a particular reason, or was it just the itinerary
That was the itinerary. I actually chose it more because it was ticking off
Right.
places I'd never been to
Right.
before,
Right.
and the experience of just being on a cruise, and the good value that I had,
Yes.
because I bought it on a sale. They were doing the free at sea offer, which they pretty much always have. That
Yes.
it'd probably be cheaper to do that cruise and stay at home in the end.
Yes, if you see a Norwegian incentive you like and it goes away, count to 10, and it'll probably be back. And you travelled on your own on
I
this occasion.
did.
How did you find that?
I travelled the world on my own anyway. I'm quite a happy independent traveller, and met other people. I did spot on the Freestyle Daily that every day there was a meet-up at 5 p.m. in Sid Norman's poorhouse, that there was a meeting for solo travellers. I never even bothered going. If you go to a bar, someone's going to come up and talk to you. Where are you from? I had some fantastic conversations with people that I'll never see again in my life, but hearing their life stories, it's actually it's a bit of a joy.
We actually deliberately chose a cruise that did not have a port every single day because we wanted to have a chance to enjoy the ship. And I kind of thought that a port every day would be just a little bit too much. Waking up early, getting off, and then
right.
it just would be too much because the days that we did get off, it was kind of a full day, but we did enjoy spending time on the ship as well. So that was another factor in choosing Southampton as well, because it does have sea days.
And if I remember, you booked a few excursions as well?
So for Lisbon, I found out what company the cruise line used,
Right.
and then I just booked directly through them.
Very shrewd tip there.
Which was the easy way to do it. It was the Tuk Tuk tour in Lisbon. It was nice. It was a good overview of the city. The other two were the cruise ship excursions. Like you said, I think for a first timer, it was a better opportunity to see kind of the highlights without having to do a lot of the homework behind it. And then one of them, we parked, I think, Lexigos for Porto.
Yeah.
There was a drive to get to the city, so we didn't even get off the ship that day.
Right.
But I think for a first-time cruiser, it's probably a good idea to do the cruise ship excursions, but they are pretty expensive, and I'm not, if I had to be honest, I'd say that they're not really good value for money. They were certainly enjoyable, but they're just way overpriced for what they are.
And you said you skipped one of your excursions, but did you do others?
As part of the NCL package, I had $50 credit per port. So some of the excursions that were coming in at $49,
Yes.
I was making a beeline for those. So essentially they were free. However, there was 2 of them that they were just too good. So Istanbul being one of them that I did top up and really make the most of that.
So in my videos I say that cruises are about the ports as well as the cruise ship. The cruise ship is also an important part, and the food and the drink and the entertainment is a big part of the experience. And so how did you find those elements of the cruise?
So the food was absolutely outstanding. The dining room staff was absolutely amazing. We got to know them really well, even though we didn't have a fixed time. But we were able to get our same waiter and assistant waiter, which I didn't even know was a thing until we got on the cruise. The food was great. The buffet was fine. There were some kinks in the beginning with getting people seated. It took, I think, a little bit longer, and then we went to breakfast in the main dining room, and they were actually turning people away. They said, you just might as well go to the buffet. It's going to take forever. So that took about 2 or 3 days, and they got that seemingly sorted out.
People settle into a routine and a pattern, don't they?
Yeah.
It sort of solves itself.
Yeah, but we did, we primarily did the buffet for breakfast. We did kind of, nibbles around the place, like the pool bar, the mass bar, I think it's called, or the mass grill. Of course, went to all the bars throughout the day and through the night. And then we did the main dining room, and we thought that the food was absolutely excellent.
Okay. Food for you?
Food, again, outstanding. The one thing that I did discover fairly early is that I did not like the buffet,
Right.
the garden cafe. So when it came to lunchtime, I was either going to one of the main dining rooms, or I'd eaten breakfast at O'Shea's. Again, I wasn't going to the buffet for breakfast.
Right. And what was it about the buffet that you didn't connect with?
It was always busy,
Right.
noisy. The selection of food, it just wasn't that great,
Right.
really. So, whereas, particularly for breakfast, O'Shea's was very handy for where my stateroom was, and far more limited. There was like 3-4 options for breakfast, and that suited me down, and it was much quieter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Did you take a drinks package?
I got a drinks
Of
package
course.
as part of
Yes.
as a part of my deal. But one of the things I did learn is that if I was going on another cruise with a different line, I wouldn't get the best benefit out of a
Would you
drinks
not?
package. No, it would not make financial sense.
Need to get up earlier.
I would need to get up earlier on. I would need to get a new liver.
Right.
I actually was only really drinking at most 2 alcoholic beverages a day.
Right.
I don't know about Shane, but the thing that really annoyed me was the cost of water.
Yes, Norwegian is very unusual that they charge for the water. The water isn't in the package.
Yeah, it's like $5 for a half litre of bottled
I
water.
don't think any other cruise line I've been on does that. Every other cruise line includes the drinks or the water in the drinks package.
Yeah, so everyone's got their water bottles,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
vacuum ones, and that's the one time I would go to the buffet to fill my water bottle.
And you had the drinks package as well?
Yes, it was part of the all-included,
Right.
with gratuities as well. We certainly, it was our goal to make Celebrity pay for it, and I think we did. I mean, obviously, you need to take a little bit of a break through that, but yeah, I think we got pretty good value out of it. I think it's only, I don't know what it actually costs. I think it's like £80 per person a day or something like that. But I think we got good value.
It always adds up to a dauntingly stupid amount if you see the number, but you've got to get up early and you've got to really dedicate yourself to getting value out of those drinks packages.
Yeah, and the drinks throughout the day are also, you don't think about it, but you have a beer by the pool, or and they do add up, in cost. And then, of course, at night, we went to the, I think the Sky Lounge, which is the one in the front that's got the good views. So they had a lot of stuff there.
And the entertainment, the shows?
Oh, it was like West End.
Right.
The big production
Big ships,
shows were just everyone was up on their feet at the end. And all the other entertainment, normally in a holiday or a package holiday, I'm not a fan of holiday entertainment. I can find it a bit cringy. But for some reason on that cruise, I loved it.
Yeah, kind of a different story for us. We actually only went to, I think, two of the nights to the main theater. We saw a magician, and then we saw a show that kind of reminded me of Cirque du Soleil, but it was not like Cirque du Soleil. It was similar, but it was very, very toned down. You know, we found there was like a musician. There wasn't anything that I've heard of. It wasn't anything that really kind of struck me as like a headliner. You know, but for me, the entertainment wasn't really that great. But then again, to be fair, we weren't really looking for that. We were just kind of wanting to have dinner, go have some drinks, and then we did meet some people on the cruise and just kind of hang out with them. Didn't want to spend a whole lot of time in the theater.
So I think your answers have probably telegraphed the answer to this question, but would you cruise again?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But again, we'd want to pick a specific itinerary with places that we want to visit, but that we wouldn't necessarily spend 4 or 5 days in.
Right.
So, like Croatia, we were actually thinking that would be nice because you get to see all the different ports. But I wouldn't want to go see like a place like Athens or Rome, or especially because they're not even near the city. Yeah. So, I definitely would. It was a great experience. And Celebrity again, or would you? Yeah, I quite like Celebrity. It's I mean, I worry with like MSC. I know you've been on it. Just with the size of the ships and the crowds and the kids and all that stuff, that it just might be a little bit overwhelming. But we had a great time on Celebrity, and there's one thing to be said about trying a different brand, but if you've been on a cruise and you like it, then you know it's going to work for you. Yeah, exactly. And are you a Norwegian loyalist now?
No.
Okay.
No. Shane actually pointed out something that I wouldn't say it got wrong, it was the itinerary, but just because you're on the ship, you want to enjoy the ship, you've paid to be on the ship and enjoy all the facilities, that I would like an itinerary that had more days at sea. Right. And it's also really family friendly. I took one posh frock with me and it stayed in the wardrobe. So I would want something really, really formal. And Norwegian is pitching itself as being a relaxed experience. It is. And actually, what I picked for a first time cruise, I couldn't ask for more. Great learning experience, finding out what I like, what I didn't like, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. Right. For my next cruise, because I do want to go from one extreme to the other, I'm actually thinking where this is going. Yeah, I'm thinking of going Cunard. Really? That is the other end of the scale. Yeah, fantastic. We're thinking about a probably Norwegian fjords cruise next, because again we get the sea days and the scenery. So, or we may just go nuts and go for an Alaska cruise. Got a 2-for-1 burning a hole in my pockets. Yeah, that's a whole other subject. Check out Matt's Planet to learn everything you could ever want to know about Annex 2-for-1s. Anything else you'd like to add? Any other thoughts? No, I mean, just grateful for the videos. It was very informative. My wife and I both watched it, so we kind of had our expectations set, I think, at a really appropriate level. We knew what was good, what was not so great. And we kind of knew what we were getting into. Good. Wouldn't have otherwise known that, and I like the day in the life. That was really very interesting, and it was interesting to kind of follow that around. I think I'd like to leave a tip, which is that every day there's going to be a special offer for something. So I waited for the spa and got an amazing deal and spent a few hours in there, but hang around. If there's something you really want to do, at some point there will be a discount. The price will come to you. Excellent, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like if you did, and leave a comment. Has this made you think about taking a cruise? Please consider subscribing if you're new, and if you'd like to join my wonderful patron family, there is a link in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Stick around. Very good. Okay, that was the hard bit. I feel like I've always wanted to do that.